So what are you doing on the iPhone?
Well, my phone was ringing, but I didn't know the number, so I decided not to answer it. We need to stop talking about whoever's calling me. They're going to leave me a voicemail, and it's going to bug me until I can listen to it. I am, excited that we're in a new year. Welcome to 2015. Everybody, did you have a good New Year's Eve?
Always, and Happy New Year.
Wonderful, relaxing.
I did as well. And happy New Year to everybody.
I got up late. I went to the couch and went from the couch back to bed. It was pretty awesome. I didn't do much of anything. So it was a great way to start the new year. But I'm pumped about the Friday Foursome in 2015. We have a brand new sponsor. Les is wearing the hat. Jason, do you have the hat on? Did you get the hat too?
I do not have the hat on. I didn't plan accordingly for today. I'm not in a place where I can get to the hat today.
I'm having a good hair day, so I didn't wear the hat, but I have the hat. But I also didn't wear this, but I got a nice, really cool T-shirt. I wish it was the front, not the back, but I'm not going to.
The hat would cover up the bad hair day.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's actually, I do need to get a cut. You're right. So today we have a very special guest today, and I don't even know where to start with what he does. One of the things that he does is he makes a lot of putts, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. With us today, we've got Jason Boslow from Shop Junior Golf, Les Bailey from Pro Golf Now, and we're going to get that signature updated there. We've got someone working on some lower thirds for 2015 that'll incorporate the greenskeeper.org logo. And I'm pretty excited about those. Have you seen the event header, Jason and Les?
Yes, it looks awesome.
Yeah, this guy is legit, and he is also one of the moderators of the Craft Beer Nation, which is another community that I'm in on Google+, and we have weekly hangouts with that every Friday night. And so I do this during the day, and then I drink beer on Friday nights. And he's done all the graphics for them, and just a fantastic job. So. Okay, enough about that. Let's get to our guest of honor, and I'm going to let him take a couple of minutes to introduce himself because he does a lot of stuff. He teaches golf, and like I said, he makes more putts. So Ted Gallina from SeeMore Putters is with us today. Ted, welcome to the Friday Foursome, and take a few minutes to tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, guys, thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure to be sitting in front of you guys and talking about SeeMore Putters, and Happy New Year to all of you guys.
All right, Happy New Year.
I guess I could go into... I'm a PGA Professional. I've been one since 1999. I work for the SeeMore Putter Company, and my title, we have quite a few titles within the few people that work with SeeMore, but my main title is, we call it the SeeMore Putter Institute, SPi, Director of Instruction. I go out on tour along with a few other guys in the company to get players to try to use the putter, but also try to get instructors to teach more using a putter that we feel like the SeeMore putter is a pretty good putter to teach with, and the great thing about it, not only can you teach with it, but you can play with it. And so since 2011, we started SPi. We have over 300 instructors around the world that teach putting based off of the fundamentals of golf: grip, posture, stance, alignment. And a gentleman I can talk more about is Pat O'Brien, who I learned from. He taught a bunch of guys on tour. All with using the simple putter, the SeeMore putter, basically, of hiding the red dot and seeing the two white lines.
So I've got one of those SeeMore putters here with me, and it's funny because you're surrounded by SeeMore paraphernalia there, and you don't have a putter in your hands. I was kind of expecting you to have a putter in your hands. But
I got a few.
I'm sure you've got one. I love the grip on this putter more than anything. I think it's the flat black, and I don't know. The grip is fantastic, and the only thing that I'm going to change about it, and I've been using it pretty much every round, I'm going to cut like an inch off of the shaft. It's just a little bit too long, but it's a lighter head than I expected. So the first question that I'm going to ask is going to be about that, the head weight, and how many different heads do you have? And I assume they all are a center shafted putter, but maybe talk a little bit about the line of putters and.
Good question. Well, real behind me is I'm basically right now working out of my house in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In my basement, we have a putting green here, and so I'm able to talk back and forth in our home office in Franklin, Tennessee, where we have our owner and 4 other guys that work around the clock to hopefully give great customer service to everyone. So when I'm not out on tour or in front of the PGA members somewhere at a section meeting, I'm here answering phone calls, doing video chats with guys around the world and girls around the world. Interesting with our putters, yes, we do have many different types of makes and models, from center shaft to offset to heel shaft to blades to mallets, materials, inserts, cast, milled. The nice thing about all of our putters is that you can get one that you like the feel, you like the look, but then all of them have the simplicity of the red dot and the white lines. I'll show that up to you guys. And so before we do anything, the nice thing about our putters, again, they all have the red dot and the white lines. And we find putting is already hard enough as it is. 40% of your strokes during a round of golf is used with the putter, but only 6% of lessons are given yearly. So if I can teach someone how to teach putting better, or if I can even teach you how you can be a more consistent putter, then you're going to be making more putts, having more fun at golf, and growing the game of golf. And so with all our putters, the basic premise is when you hide the red dot and you see the two white lines that address position, a lot of things happen. One, your posture is always going to be the same way for every single putt. Doesn't matter what length of putt it is, 5, 10, 15-foot putt, your posture is always going to be the same. Head's in the same spot, hands in the same spot. The putter face is always going to be square to your intended target line. Ball position is always going to be in the same spot. So if I can give you that for every single putt, you have a consistent starting point, and you're going to feel what your actual good putt is supposed to feel like because you're starting in the same spot. So when you do happen to make a bad putt, you know what you've done wrong because you stayed in that same spot every single time for how many putts you made with that putter. And so if I can teach you that, the basics of that, then now the shape of the head looks pretty good, the feel looks pretty good, the color looks pretty good, and we go from there. So what we try to do with everyone, explain why it's so important to be setting up in the same spot and actually getting a good length of putter and get fitted correctly. And then we go from there.
Awesome. Well, as I was looking at your website this morning, I was trying to decide, do you sell putters or do you sell putting instruction, or both?
It's both. What we like to say is if you buy a SeeMore putter, you also buy an SPi instructor for life. If you're having trouble with putting, you should go find an SPi instructor because they actually want to help you get better with putting, and they teach with the SeeMore putter, and they'll show you how more consistent. So we're probably one of, I think, the only company out there that not only do we want to sell you a piece of product, but we want to give you 24/7 support day in and day out. If you have a problem with your putting, we know we can fix it, and you give us a call or find an SPi instructor.
Very good.
Now we're going to talk about Jason and his putting. We all knew this was coming. I mean, the entire focus of this Friday
had to
Foursome
come up in
putting.
this call,
and it had to come up before I could let you get a word in. So, Jason, well, he uses a long putter, and I'll just let him take it away with his first question.
So, kind of two parts. So, one, what is your opinion of the decision to do away with the belly putter? And two, how will that affect your business?
Great question. You know, I think we're all for trying to keep people in the game of golf, and I can understand where the ruling that says it's supposed to help them with it being connected, it's going to help them putt better. But if that was the case, then I think everyone would be using a belly putter or a long putter. We've got a number of emails and phone calls from people who have back problems, who are amputees, who love playing the game of golf, and they actually need that to help them, play more rounds of golf. So with that, I don't think it's going to deter people from not playing the game of golf. I think it might make someone try a little bit harder at it because they're taking away they're used to playing that way. Or I don't know, Jason, how long you've been putting with the broomstick, but you've been doing it for a long time probably, and you might,
long enough.
Well, and the nice thing, though, is what we tell people, if you're a belly or broomstick holder, the SeeMore putter, if you can think real quick, is an invisible anchor point. Because, Jason, I ask you, why'd you go to a belly putter or broom putter to begin with?
I felt like I had more control over it.
Okay. Meaning more consistent, setting up in the same spot.
Sure.
All right. So, again, if I can give you something real simple, Jason, when you set up, I want you to hide that red dot in between the shaft. See the two white lines? You're now starting in the same spot every single time. So you will feel more and more comfortable going from a long putter down to, I would say, probably a counterbalance putter. Because, again, people go to a belly putter, you hear them because they push a lot of their putts, or their ball position is always different, or they're getting real handsy with it.
Right.
Belly or long putter keeps it still, and they feel more comfortable with it. That's what a SeeMore putter does, from a counterbalance to a standard length. So I'm not afraid to. I know you can putt better, I think, bias, with a SeeMore putter going from a broomstick or a belly, because that SeeMore puts you in the same spot, and you will still feel. Now, you're not going to have the attachment, but you'll still feel confident enough that you're going to be in the same spot for every single putt.
It's all about creating consistency, and
Yes.
yeah, I see how that makes a lot of sense to me.
And another thing is, I don't know, I don't play a lot of golf. People, the only people I know that play a lot of golf are tour players for the most part. They practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the putting green. You and I, the average golfer, doesn't have a whole lot of time to practice, let alone practice on the putting green. And so I always tell people a SeeMore putter makes you feel like you played golf yesterday. So maybe you played golf a month ago, but once you get in, hide that red dot, you're like, you're not anxious anymore. Your anxiety comes down. You're relaxed because, oh, wait a second, this feels like, oh yeah, this is like I putted 3 months ago. I'm in the same spot every single time.
Makes sense.
So teaching putting, aim point. I haven't used it. I don't know it, but a lot of my friends that are golf professionals use it, and Aim Point Express has been a big topic, even on tour. What are your thoughts on Aim Point, and do you actually think it helps you make everything? That's their tagline.
Well, no, I think we have a number of our instructors who are Aim Point certified, and the number one thing that a SeeMore putter helps right off the bat, that it can improve your alignment by 50%. By just hiding in the red dot and seeing the two white lines, because it squares you up to your intended target line. Now your next question you guys are going to ask is, okay, well, Ted, show me where I'm aimed. So what we have, we call it our triangulator, which is very simple. Ricky, I don't know if you got one, but we can send one to you. It's very simple. Once you line up your putt, okay, you move the ball out of the way and you slide this up against it, and then you pull the string tight, and actually will show you where you're aimed, all right? So most people on a 10-foot putt, we find 65, 75% of the time aim about right-handed golfer, 3 or 4 balls to the left, because they push their putts down the line. They're not hitting all the way through that putt. So subconsciously, they aim a little bit to the left because they usually start with good alignment, but because they push their putts, the ball goes to the right. So subconsciously aim a little bit left. So that's why you hear people, man, I made everything today. Yesterday I missed everything. Well, they're basing their putt off of their miss and actually what the putt should feel like. And so Aim Point takes that a step further. So not only can I put you in the same setup, same posture, same ball position, same starting point every single time, now Aim Point can show you where you're actually aimed. So you put the two of them together, you're going to be a deadly combo with that on the putting greens.
No kidding. Hashtag make everything to a new level.
But that's what we find is, again, people have a setup one time for downhill putts. The next time they have it, open. Next time they have one hand up and one hand down. They're finding anything and everything to try to make putts, and they do this for 5 or 6 holes, and then they're trying to, okay, it worked for me today, let me try it work for me tomorrow. They're experimenting, and I tell people, I kill this analogy, it's like you shooting free throws in basketball. Coach would tell you to go shoot 20 free throws after practice. He wanted you to do the same routine over and over and over again from the foul line. So when you get fouled during the game, oh wait, coach made me do that 100 times. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Now, you might not make the free throw shot all the time, but at least you know what you've done wrong because you've done the same routine. You know to follow through or bend your knees.
So my question is what version or model do you use and why?
Great question. On our website, I don't know if you noticed on our website, there's a place that's called Face Balance at Impact. All right, and so I use a simple putter that Zach Johnson uses, that Payne Stewart one. It's called our FGP. Featuring ground plumb is what FGP stands for. It's a simple blade design, not much to it. But the nice thing about it is the putter is face, balance, and impact. And we have a number of putters that are this way. And if you have a few minutes, I can explain it to you. The traditional way of showing what face balance is horizontal. This putter, for instance, is full toe hang, right? And then I've got a sort of an answer style putter, okay? That's about a 45-degree toe hang. I've never seen anyone putt this way, but I've seen a bunch of people putt this way. So I want to know actually what the putter head is doing at impact, not at in horizontal position. And so we have a simple, it's very simple. We put a T at the end of the grip, and then we put a T at the down below the grip, and we put it at a 70-degree lie angle, and every face bounce and impact putter at SeeMore wants to come through dead square every single time. Where if you use an answer style putter at a 70-degree, that putter wants to open up at impact. So people have to manipulate this putter head with their hands.
Oh, that's interesting.
Where this putter here, doesn't matter. You might take it outside the line or inside the line, or you might take a natural arc stroke, which we promote, but this putter head wants to come through dead square every single time, so you don't have to manipulate it with your hands. So you don't have to feel like you got to get a bigger grip. You don't have to feel like you got to get a bigger head weight, and that comes back full circle. Ricky, when you're talking about different head weights in putters, the nice thing, we sort of have standard head weights just like other companies out there, but we can add weight to putters. We can make them any different length, lie, etc. But the nice thing is that if this putter head weighs 335 grams, you're going to be getting it in the same spot every single time, so you will know exactly what it feels like every single time instead of you setting up differently. So it doesn't matter if you like a heavier head or a lighter head, you're always going to know what it feels like every single time.
So you kind of stole one of my questions, was going to be about the PGA Tour players that have and currently use SeeMore Putters. So just real quick, I know that Payne Stewart used one, and I know that Zach Johnson currently uses one. Any other tour guys using SeeMore?
Presently, we have a gentleman from Scotland, Russell Knox. He won with the putter a few years ago on the Web.com tour, and has been using it off and on. Halfway through the season last year, he put it back in play. Still retained his tour card. So the nice thing is that you really don't know who's going to show up with a SeeMore putter. We're not a big company, we're not a big marketing company. We don't pay players to use the putter at all. They use it because of the technology that's behind the putter. The why, we give them the why ball position is so important, why posture is so important. And so there's a lot of guys out there that practice with it, but due to contractual agreements, they don't put it in play. Some don't have any contracts with club companies, so you never know who's going to come out with it. So it's fun to go out on tour and try to get the guys who really want to improve their putting and be a more consistent putter.
What about Ladies Tour?
Ladies Tour, yeah, we've got a gentleman. Alex Rochelle and two of them, Cody Hale, that go out on the LPGA tour. Again, Kari Webb won with us a number of years ago. We have a few players on and off last year that used it. It's one of those things. Again, it's hard when there's dollars involved, and so
Sure.
You got sort of the one-hit wonder of the money that week, or is it like a baseball average? If I can just continue to give you a better baseball average, are you going to, use it more or become a better putter? So it's hard for some of those players to really take grasp of that because they see the quick money, and where other guys who've used our putter, Zach Johnson, those guys, they've just become better and better and more consistent.
The next time you're at a PGA Tour event and Tiger's on the putting green, just go ahead and toss one in his bag because nothing could hurt Tiger's putting at this point, or his wedge game for that matter. But that
would be nice.
And now you've stole one of my questions.
That wasn't a question. But the next question is for you, Les. So take it away.
Well, I've seen many types of online lessons, but I saw on your website that you give online putting lessons, and I was wondering how that works.
Great question. What we call it's cyber coaching, and then actually I think you had Andrew a few weeks ago with Edufy, and we use
sure did.
And what a great platform for our SPi instructors to stay in front of their students, and not only more of coaching involved. Edufy is a great platform because not only does it get the student involved, but it gets mom and dad involved too with what is going on. It allows the instructor to talk to more people. It allows me to share information to our SPi instructors that they can then share to their students. And so we call it cyber coaching. You sign up for it. We would put you in touch with a top SPi instructor of ours. His name is Ben Pelicani. He actually lives in Nashville. And he goes through the gamut of sending you videos, and you guys go back and forth on simple videos, simple instruction that allows you to become a little bit more. And it's all done month per month. So you would sign up for another month if you're interested in doing that. And he talks to you as many times as you want, and you talk to him as many times. Send videos. So it's a great platform for coaching, and it's an easy platform for us to share information.
Jason, I'm not going to steal any more questions from Les, so Jason, I'm going to let you ask your next one.
Well, being as though I'm viewed as the cheater on the show, I have been shopping putters, and I know that they vary in price by several $100s. My question is, what's the difference in a $100 putter versus a $400 putter, and what are some of the features that I should be looking for between the less expensive ones and the more expensive ones? What's the difference?
A lot of times, the way I explain it to people is, you might drive a BMW and I might drive a Honda Civic, and we're going from your apartment, your house, to the golf course. We're both going to get there same amount of time possibly. You have more bells and whistles, better tires, air conditioning, power locks. Mine, no air conditioning, 4 wheels, it gets me there. So to each its own for the most part. And there's a lot of times when people come into the studio and we sort of narrow down. We ask a few general questions, and then we start to narrow down. Look, feel, price is a very important part. And sometimes they actually putt better with the lower end model than they do with a higher end model. A lot of people feel like they need a higher end model to play better, and that's just not the case. It's more a feel and look. And the nice thing is, before I started working in SeeMore, you would come and ask for a putter with me. Well, we'd go to the putter corral. We find 3 or 4 that look good. We take them out to the putting green, and we see how they feel, make sure they fit pretty good. All right, Jason, let's go. We got your putter. We can do that, but all of our putters now have the red dot and the white line. So again, whatever you feel comfortable with, it's like you playing with Titleist irons or Callaway irons or TaylorMade irons, to each its own. And so when you're looking for putter heads, we always, again, try to tell you technology behind how a SeeMore works. And then once you understand that, then, okay, are you more of a blade guy? Are you more of a mallet guy? Are you more open to a face balance and impact putter? And so during the fitting, sometimes what I would do is I'd give you a blade putter, and then I might give you an offset putter. And you would feel the difference between the two, and you might not get where the sort of the T, the face balance and impact I showed you earlier. You might not get that, but if I gave you the 2 different putters and you putted some, you would say, well, why is this blade putter a little bit better feeling than this answer style putter? And then that's what I would say. So you're feeling the difference between the two, and you might be open to using that type of putter. And so, again, the style is mainly up to you, but if you say, Ted, I'm going to give up the game of golf unless I make, I'm always going to put you in a face balance and impact putter. I got a few blades, a few mallets that have that. Or you might say, Ted, you know what? I'm a big mallet guy. That's what I want. Show me your mallets. Okay. And then I might every now and then maybe throw in a blade putter just to see if that's really what you want.
Okay.
So, long story short, it's got to look good and feel good. There's no way if you make every putt with the blade putter, and every other comment you say is, man, that mallet over there looks so good. That mallet looks so good. It would do me harm to sell you or give you a blade putter, because the first time you go out and you miss a short putt, you're going to be upset at me, upset at you.
But Jason doesn't miss short putts because he cheats and uses the bad putter. Les, final question from you. I feel like we've just gotten started and it's already been almost a half an hour, and we got to get to the lightning round. That's my favorite part.
Well, just before I get into my last question, I took Golfsmith's class back in '98, and handing somebody a club, and either they like it or they don't like it, in response to Jason's last thing. Does Tiger Woods need to put his Scotty Cameron back in the bag, or what's the deal with Tiger? He needs to start making putts.
Well, when again, golf is 90% mental, 10% physical, and when all of us were younger, we were able to do things better with our minds. We were able to think probably quicker. We're able to time things a whole lot better. As we get up in age, everything gets a little bit older. Mind stops working as quickly and so forth. And so I think a lot of his putting.
Is that true, Les?
Yes. Yeah, yes. What was your name again?
That's funny.
People tend to think too much when they putt, and when they start doing it, people tend to think too much when they play golf. When they just relax and think of some simple things, putting is much more natural. And I think what happens with him, he might be trying to be a lot of timing and making sure he's trying to make a repetitive motion, and it's, he's got his children involved now. He's probably more people going to end up doing golf courses. He's not practicing as much. I don't know, but again, if we can make putting simpler, I tell people, let's just think of 3 things before you putt. Let's see where you're going to aim, how hard you're going to hit it, and just trust your takeaway and your follow through, because that red dot takes care of 9 to 10 things right before you putt. You don't have to worry about it. Sometimes think about when you putt, I got to make sure my hands are going, I got to make sure I'm aimed correctly, I got to make sure my head's this way and that way. It's hard to make a repeatable stroke day in and day out. So, I would ask Tiger, does he feel comfortable making a repeatable stroke? How hard is it for him to do that? Well, maybe we might have something for him and for everyone that makes it simpler. And, my goal is when you leave a lesson for me, you turn around and go, Ted, it can't be this simple. Yeah, it's this simple.
It's that simple, huh? Yeah.
Jason, just because you cheat when you putt, I'm going to let you ask one more question.
What is the most, so you've probably seen hundreds of people or students, what seems to be the most abused thing when it comes to putting? Just over a general population, what do you think would be the most abused thing in the putting game?
Abuse, I think if I understand your question correctly, I think people feel like they have to get right over the top of the golf ball and make more of a straight back and straight through stroke, or they have to make more of an arc stroke. Again, I think that was good when the grass was higher and you had to make more of a pop stroke to get the ball up in the air and get real down on it. Nowadays the greens are much quicker, faster, not as thick, and so you're able to make a nice fluid natural arc stroke. And the thing about it is I think a lot of instructors are maybe stuck back in that era of maybe right over the top of it. I don't swing my golf club like that. I swing my golf club with a nice natural arc stroke. And so, if I would change one thing, I would say, you don't need to be right over the top of the golf ball, and that's what we hear a lot of times. And I tell people some of the things that I'm going to talk about today, you've read and seen things on TV, in the magazines, are going to be a little bit different, but we explain the why behind it, why you have much more of a natural arc stroke, why you don't have to be right over the top of the golf ball and feel like you got to push your hands forward every single time.
Man, all I want to do is go work on my putting, like just talking to you about putting. Like, I just want to go straight to the golf course.
We can do it just like this. We can do it just like this.
Okay, so Les, you don't get any more questions because we're out of time. And Jason, that was a very good last question. Even though, what's going to happen, Jason, the day that you replace the long putter? Like, can we have a special hangout where we? I don't know.
I feel like whenever that does happen, like we should make some big announcement, and then
we need to.
Can't make fun of me anymore.
How long have you been using a long putter? How many years?
About 2.5. And I haven't been playing golf all that long. I've only been playing golf about 3 or 4 years. So about half of my golf career, if you will, has been with a long putter.
Don't worry, you'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we didn't talk about this when we were prepping for the Friday Foursome, but we do this thing called the lightning round. It's 9 rapid-fire questions. You have no idea what's coming. Not like you've had any idea what's been coming all day anyway, but 9 rapid-fire questions. Some of these are pretty good. So are you ready for the lightning round, Ted?
Sure. I hope I don't embarrass myself, but yes.
All right. Have you ever had an ace?
1.
Ooh, that's rare. I feel like everybody either says no or I have 6.
Well, the thing about, I know it's rapid fire.
That's all right. I like this story.
5 iron from like 205. The wind was blowing with me. But the bad thing about it is I didn't keep the scorecard because on the next par 3 I made an 11, so I really put 3 ones on the scorecard.
Oh my goodness. The highest number I've had on a par 3 I think is an 8, so you got me beat there. Who is the best putter on tour?
Zach Johnson.
You have to say that. Now, speaking of red dots, Tiger wears red on Sunday. Now, be very careful how you answer this because I'm Tiger's biggest fan. Will Tiger break Jack's record? Why or why not?
I think he will. I think, one, he's a fighter. He's never going to give up. He's never going to give in. He's going to work hard every day, and that's been a goal of his. So, I think he's fantastic for the game of golf. For SeeMore being such a small putter company, whenever he's out there in front of the TV, on TV, making good news, that's good for us because more people are watching golf and it brings more viewers. So I believe he will, yes.
That might be the best answer we've had to that question in a long time. Who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
Oh, favorite LPGA Tour player.
And I'm meeting with the LPGA Tour later, so whoever you say, I'll make sure I share that with them when I sit down with them for coffee this afternoon.
I would say Annika Sorenstam. I was the head pro for a number of years at Legends Club of Tennessee in Franklin, Tennessee, and we held 3 LPGA events there. And we had a few rain delays. She always stayed in the golf shop, talking with fans. Now is she a fierce competitor, but a good golfer, but a mother. Great for the game of golf, but I think I just saw her interact with the fans and the members during that time that, it was, one that stood out for me.
So there's a lot of argument on 4 majors and adding a 5th one. Should the Players' Championship at TPC Sawgrass be a major?
Ooh. I don't think so. I'm more of a traditionalist. I think it's nice that the players have that for themselves. But being the 4 majors, I just grew up watching golf, and that's, I always look forward to them. It's a great event, but I think also you could maybe add a few others if you're going to put in the TPC as well.
What is your favorite golf course?
That I played or been to?
Either.
I guess I would say Newport Country Club in Newport, Rhode Island. I played it right after, I want to say, the ladies had the U.S. Open up there, and it was in great shape. Just the scenery, the clubhouse, there's really nothing around the course. You could see the water and the ocean. Great ambiance out there.
Awesome. Now we know what putter is in your bag, but what irons are you playing?
Titleist irons. I need some new ones. I couldn't really tell you what they're called, but I know it's Titleist.
Hint, hint to all of the Titleist reps that are watching this. Wink,
no,
wink.
they're great.
Okay, so there are a lot of great breweries where you live. What's your favorite brewery?
New Glarus Spotted Cow.
Man, New Glarus is such a good brewery. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's one thing. I mean, you go into the groceries here, and they just have a separate section off to the side of just local brews. So if you come up here, you need to go to the Pabst tour. Take the Pabst tour. What an interesting place.
I've heard that. I've heard that tour, and I got to say, if you're going to sit down a Bud Light, a Coors Light, a Miller Lite, and a PBR, I'm taking PBR all day long. And the final question of your Friday Foursome, what's next? And don't say lunch because it's after lunch now, but what's next for you and SeeMore Putters?
Each year we get bigger and better. We're trying to be the best, not the biggest. And so just trying to inform people of how important putting is. Make the SeeMore, when someone says SeeMore Putter, they don't say, well, what's that? They say, oh, yeah, I've got a friend who used that. Or, if you need trouble with putting, the first thought is go try a SeeMore or find an instructor. We're made in the USA. We can customize just about anything for you. There's 9 people that work in the company, so you have an email, you have a question. We want to say we're open 24/7. I tell people we're all state. You're in good hands with us. We're just like you, the average golfer that want to get better in putting, and we think we have a great product. We got a great story to tell. You got Payne Stewart, Zach Johnson. The gentleman who ties that all together is Pat O'Brien. He's the instructor that I had learned from out of Lakewood Country Club, and that's a good story. And behind that is just a putter. It's not rocket science. We know there's a lot of people out there that teach putting different ways. We think we have a good way to do it, and if you think about it, give us a try. Look us up on the internet and see if we can help.
That is awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. This has been fantastic. Thank you, Jason. I know you're not working today, so you're ready to go out and enjoy your day off. Les, well, you don't ever work because you're retired. And Ted, I'll make sure this gets posted in the community. I make sure that you get a URL before the end of the day today.
Perfect. Hey, I enjoy reading your tweets. I like that, so keep them coming.
Hey, you got it. They're not going to slow down anytime soon. One of my goals for 2015 is to, tweet more, so if that's possible. But as Jesus Martinez says, who has become nothing but a stranger on Twitter, speaking of Twitter, he stole this quote from what I think is the greatest golf movie of all time, Make More Birdies. And maybe with SeeMore Putters, you can make that easier.